What's going on? Happy whatever day you're watching this. I got my espresso. I got a double shot of espresso here. And we are about to dive into the video for today. 6 times meal timing does indeed matter for fat loss. Fully explained. Got to include that. Fully explained. I'm not just going to tell you what they are. We're going to go through them. Before I get into them though, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It helps my channel grow. It helps other people see my content. I would appreciate you and love you more than I love Chipotle, although I've not had Chipotle in like a month and a half since I moved to Florida, but that's besides the point. So let us dive into it. A lot of people are always curious about whether meal timing actually matters. I feel like a lot of people have heard that you need to have 5 meals throughout the day or 6 small meals throughout the day in order to spark your metabolism. Other people and other like kind of dieting tips or dieting strategies are like intermittent fasting or 1 meal per day, where it's like you have, one meal a day is obviously 1 meal a day, but intermittent fasting is like you wait until 12 and then you normally have like 2 meals and like a snack in there. Other people, just the typical eating schedule or like breakfast, lunch, dinner. So there's endless different ways to go about it. And so a lot of people are kind of confused about, does it actually matter? Does meal timing matter? Should I be worried about it? So that is the point of the video. Obviously from the title, there are times where it does matter, but I'm going to explain it because I think it needs to be explained fully first. And so what I mean by that is that first things first is technically no, meal timing does not matter for fat loss. If your goal is to lose fat, the most important things are 1, that you're in a calorie deficit. I have a lot of videos on that, so if you want to learn more about that, just search Patrick Wilson calorie deficit on YouTube. Hella videos will come up. You'll find information there about what that means. So basically, as long as you're hitting your calorie goal to allow you to be in a calorie deficit, you're getting in enough protein, which is going to allow you to maintain muscle, build and maintain muscle so you have that leaner, toned look and actually lose body fat and not just like overall weight and not look your best as you lose scale weight, then you're good. And then also strength training, so lifting weights. That's another big time thing to make sure you're doing in order to actually lose body fat. Losing weight is different from losing body fat. I'll talk about that in another video, but in order to lose fat, you need to be doing those 3 things. And the timing, truthfully, all things considered, the timing does not matter at all from a scientific standpoint. From how the body works, it really doesn't matter. As long as you're doing those things, you're in a calorie deficit, doing all that, you're going to lose fat. However, and that's where we get into the main nitty gritty of this video, practically, from a practical standpoint, it does indeed matter. And it does make a difference when you have meals. And that's what we're going to go into today with today's video. So with that being said, reasons, times, and matters. We got 6 of them things to go through today. 6 of them things. So first things first. You need to make sure that you're eating enough food or the right kind of food before you do certain activities in the day in order to actually have energy to do them. For example, the 2 main ones that come to mind are going to be with your workouts and then your work/life. So you need to make sure you're eating enough at the right times. And I'm going to talk about workouts a little bit more in depth, but more so just like to have energy to really like function mentally is like the most important thing. I think sometimes I'm getting texts and stuff. Sorry about that. So sometimes, say you don't eat enough before like a work day, or say you're like trying to get through an entire work day and you're just crazy hungry and you don't have energy to actually like function and do your job as well as you would like to. That's the time where meal timing actually does matter, and you need to make sure that you're kind of spacing out meals accordingly so that you actually have plenty of energy for it. Same thing with workouts. You don't want to wait, start your day and wait 8 hours and then try to get a workout in, because it's probably not going to be the best workout. You're probably going to get lightheaded. You're just not going to be the best version of you. So making sure that you're getting food in. I mean, every single person is different. People can go longer without eating than others, but every 4 to 5 hours at the most is probably what you should do. All right, next thing. This is something that I think a lot of people kind of struggle with when they're doing some kind of like fasting routine, is they don't eat enough earlier in the day and then they way overeat later in the day. They, say that you don't eat until 12 or you don't eat until 1, and then you have that first meal and you're like, I just want to eat everything I see. Like you go to the snack room or you go to your pantry and just go ham on anything that you see. And you don't go ham on ham, you go ham on Oreos and eat about 8 tacos and have a burrito plus ice cream. You're just ready to eat everything in sight without any regard for human life. So if you do that, that's why you want to make sure that you are eating enough earlier in the day potentially. And I should also note at this point that all of this is specifically customized to you and the individual person. This is not like you have to follow these 6 things and be perfect with this or else you're not going to lose fat. Like, this is all very individualized, and it's like from a practical individualized standpoint. So as you're going throughout your day, kind of look at when you have the least amount of energy. How long ago did you have your previous meal? If you didn't eat enough earlier in the day, are you super hungry by the time that you're going to have your next meal, and then you overeat? And then so from there, you can think about what adjustments you're going to make. So keep that in mind as I'm going through these. Like, this is not something you have to do, but it's something to keep in mind. It's something to keep in mind. And number 3 is pretty similar to number 2. It's damn near the same thing, so this technically should just be 5 times. But anyway, number 3, I think this is more so thinking about, like, say you have like a lighter lunch, or say, actually, this number 3 is not the same as number 2. So number 3, how I'm going to word this is that when you have super, super tiny meals earlier in the day, I think a lot of people can make this mistake where you're trying to save as many calories as possible for dinner or for like the last meal in the day, and you don't eat enough earlier in the day. And then once you get to dinner, you just like go bananas on food and go crazy and way overeat. So knowing that it's okay to have bigger meals earlier in the day, like say your goal is to be at 2,000 calories for the day to be in a calorie deficit and lose fat. It's okay to have breakfast that's 400 calories and lunch that's 600 calories, and you still have 1,000 calories left for dinner. You don't need to do like 200 calories for breakfast, 200 calories for lunch, so that you have like 1,600 calories for dinner. Keep that in mind, because then if you do that, you probably potentially could way overeat and go past that. Again, every single person is different. If you are prioritizing some veggies, some proteins when you do have dinner, and then you have like a whole pint of ice cream or something, and you want to do that and that be your thing, more power to you. But I do think it's something to keep in mind that it can be a little bit challenging at times to stick with that and to not be over hungry and not overeat in those situations. Number 4 is before and after workout nutrition, which I guess this could be 4 and 5, but we're going to jump it together. Pretty much anything revolving around a workout. So pre-workout, let's talk about that. So unless you're working out in the morning, I would try, like first thing in the morning within like the first hour of you waking up, I would try to get in some kind of pre-workout meal, snack. Normally when you're pre-workout, you want to have 45 minutes to 2 hours before. If it's 2 hours before, it can be a bigger meal because obviously you need some time to digest it. If it's 45 minutes before, you kind of want to err on the side of having something a little bit smaller so you can digest it and actually use it for energy and not feel like trash. And so with this meal, you want it to be higher in protein and carbs. This is going to help you to have the most energy, and also the protein is going to help you to really start the recovery process already and actually like be able to help build, repair muscles on the front end of it, trying to get it from the front and the back, if you know what I mean. So pre-workout, that's what you want to do, is have something that's, you know, super ideal situation, I guess you could say, is like having a meal that's like 45 to 60 minutes before the actual workout itself, having something like a protein shake and a banana or something like that, where it's like easy to digest foods, protein, carbs, about 20 to 30 grams of both of those carbs and proteins. Lower in fat, because fat takes a little bit longer to digest, not going to feel as good when you're working out. Post-workout, pretty much do whatever you want, but if you didn't get a big higher protein meal in before the workout, like say that you didn't have like a normal full-size meal like 2 hours before the workout that was high in protein, ideally you want to get in a higher protein meal within like an hour and a half of post-workout in order to actually like maximize progress, maximize the gains. You don't need to do it right away, right after the workout. I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, if I don't get my protein shake in ASAP, no Rocky after the workout, then I'm going to lose my gains. There is a time when that actually is true, though. In the morning, say you work out fast in the morning, you do want to get protein in pretty quickly after the workout, just because you got to think your body's had 8-9 hours since you had your last meal, which is like dinner or whatever it was the night before. So you want to make sure you're getting a protein and kind of a meal in quickly if you work out in the morning. Other than that, though, you can definitely wait a little bit longer, but it is important, and it will help you to build muscle and lose fat if you're making sure that you're getting in a meal that's higher protein, because at this point you can maximize your workout, and that's where a lot of progress is made. And this is something I don't think enough people talk about as it relates to fat loss and looking your best. Is like you want to perform your best with the workouts, and you want to be able to get better, stronger. One key way to do that is to fuel yourself properly. Okay. All right, 2 more. We still here? Everyone's still here? Go ahead and like the video and subscribe to my channel. Let me take a little sippy sip of espresso. All right. Number 5, food before bed. So, two things with this. You're probably not going to feel your best at night going to sleep if you have like a giant meal, like literally 30 minutes before you go to sleep, and then you try to go to, like, you have your whole dinner and then you try to sleep afterwards. Probably not going to feel your best then. And also when you wake up in the morning, you don't feel your best either. Let me unhighlight these. You're not going to feel your best either at that point when you wake up in the morning after you have like a crazy big meal. And then that's going to kind of get a rough start to the day. No bueno there. And then also, even if like you hit your calorie goals and you're in a calorie deficit for that day, if you have a meal that late at night, you're going to wake up feeling and looking really bloated. And obviously, being bloated does not it does not equal you gaining body fat, but it can mess with you mentally. So say you wake up, normally you wake up, you're looking pretty good, you got the morning little abs things going, you look a little leaner in the morning when you wake up, but then you had a meal like super late at night and you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I just gained 10 pounds of body fat because I look more bloated right now. Like, that's what's going through your head. And then you're like, screw it, I'm going to eat whatever I want today. I already messed it up. I'm already fat. I already gained weight. And then you feel bad throughout the day because of that. So if you're aware and you know the game and you understand that if you eat late at night, you're going to wake up looking bloated, then you're Gucci. But it's just sometimes people aren't always feeling like that. And even if you do know that, it can still mess with you. Like, there are times when I'm like, I've been going out or doing whatever, and I have like a giant meal. I have tacos and then some ice cream or like some candy at like 1:30 in the morning. I'll wake up the next day and I'm like, oh wow, I don't look good right now. I look pretty bloated. I still know it. I still know it's going to happen, but it still messes with me a little bit. I'm still like, damn, bro, you don't look that good right now. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It's part of the game. So just keep that in mind too. Again, doesn't mean you gain body fat, but you will probably look a little bloated. And last one, eating late at night. So I know there's like this rule that people hear where it's like, don't eat past 7:30 or 8 p.m. I hate when people say that because I'm like, bro, if I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat. So if that's you and you're actually hungry and need a meal, like, eat dinner even if it's past like 8 p.m. But I think more so where this is applicable is when after you've had dinner and after you're like settled in and it's like 11, 12 o'clock, and this is a little bit different from food before bed that I talked about in the point before. When it's like 11, 12 o'clock and you're just sitting there and you're like watching TV or just like bored or something and you're like, I'm going to go to the pantry and get a little snackaroo, and you end up having an entire container of Oreos or have like an entire pint of ice cream because you just start eating it. You're like, I'm just going to get a little bit, that shit's really good. A little bit turns to a lot of it, and then you way overeat. And then that's like an extra 1,000 calories. That's not going to help the fat loss goals at all if you have just a random extra 1,000 calories. So if that's you, if you aren't always in the most control in that situation, then either what you could do is have like a smaller portion, like already pre-made, like a small bag of chips or like cookies in a little bag, or like just get like smaller sizes of stuff so you don't even have the chance to overeat it. Or you commit to having something that is lower calorie if you want to snack at night. So again, oftentimes it's stuff that's like higher calorie that we're accustomed to snacking on at night, eating at night. So kind of either not having those foods available for you in your home, or having smaller portions of them, that would do you best, just so you're not going way overboard and having a ton of calories. Eating late at night isn't bad. Again, timing of as in general, you can eat at any times and take all of these tips and points and make them applicable to your own life. And then from there, you can kind of see which ones are going to suit you and suit you best, if you know what I'm saying. All right. Let me know what questions you have. Comment below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to my channel. Much love. Until next time, hopefully this was helpful. Peace and blessings. Cheers with espresso.